internet, you need to work in retail. Alright, listen up, because if you've never worked retail, you probably think that either A, you're too good for it, B, it's dumb, or C, that it's a soul-sucking, loser-only job that only the 15-year-old boy down the street who bullied you from the ages of 10 should be forced to do. And you're right about the soul-sucking part. But my point here is that you do, in fact, need to work in retail. At least for a year, right? What, 1 year? Say you live for 80 years, 1 year out of 80. That's not too bad, right? That's not too bad. Wrong. 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 And wrong again. I'm not like taking digs at people who like physically, for whatever reason, cannot work retail, right? Absolutely no hate to anyone who cannot work retail for any reason. But for the people who can, for people who are able-bodied and able to deal with people fairly comfortably at least, right? You need to work in retail. And I don't think it matters whether you actually want to work retail or not. You should be required to, just for a year, okay? I have my reasons for this that we're going to get into a second. But to put it in short as a little TLDL, too long didn't listen, right? To put it in short, it'll humble you, it'll teach you life lessons that you didn't know you needed, and it will crush your entitlement streak that you didn't even know you had down to the bone. Okay, so my credentials for this are the fact that I have personally worked in a cafe. I know, it doesn't sound like much, but it was a really, really busy cafe, and there were some really, really not so lovely customers. I'm not naming names, I'm not naming cafes, I'm not going to expose people like that, I'm not one of them type of people, right? But I have worked there, and that, I believe that sector falls at least next to retail, because you have to deal with the same type of customers, the same type of explosions and Karens, etc.
Give me the refund.
I can't do a refund. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. I can't do a refund. I can't give you a fucking refund.
My other credential for this is that I scroll the internet way too much, and I have seen way too many people, especially like young 16, 17-year-old people who are in their first job, they're just trying to make a little bit of an income, maybe trying to move out of their parents' basement, you know what I mean? Getting screamed at over, what, spilled milk? Literally like spilled milk. Stuff that regular day-to-day people could not give less of a flying damn about. And they're over here getting screamed and screamed and screamed at, and they're having people threaten to call the police on them.
You just won't give me a simple $10 refund.
I'm calling the cops. You better all have your papers right.
Yeah, you better all be legal.
I'm telling you that right now.
And just, it's just not. It shouldn't be the case, but it is. And I believe that the only way to combat that is to have everyone and their grandma work in retail for at least a year. In retail, in food service, in any of those sectors, you will meet people who act like the laws of physics bend just because they didn't get a discount on their expired 2012 coupons. You will hear complaints about things that do not matter, and for the first time in your life, you will realise that the world is full to the brim, at maximum capacity. With people who do not care about your feelings. And here's the kicker, right? Because you can't argue with them, you cannot reason with them, and you certainly cannot make them like you.
It's all on the bottom, see? And now you can go to a different store. We will not be serving you anymore.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
That's a license plate.
You got for what? Why are you not serving me?
Please come forward.
Why are you not serving me?
Get out of my drive-thru.
I'm
Now.
just asking you why you're not
Because
serving me.
every single time we make your drink, it is wrong. Obviously, we cannot satisfy you the first time, and we're done trying. So get out of my drive-thru.
Okay. All right.
You will learn very, very, very quickly that some people in life are just horrible people. And they shouldn't be, but you know what, we move, right? Retail will teach you patience, resilience, and the ability to not give a flying monkeys about minor irritations in life. You will gain perspective and you will start thinking, wow, maybe I'm not the center of the universe, which for some people is the most shocking thing in the world. Now let's talk about entitlement. Because retail will absolutely dismantle any sense of it you ever had in your life, right? Think about it. You spend 8.5 hours dealing with people who act like you personally caused every single issue in their life, like you personally caused their morning coffee from 6.5 hours ago to taste like dog poop. Your $12 an hour-ish self is supposed to solve all of the universe's problems with a big cheesy smile. But let's be realistic. By month 3, your brain will rewire. You will start seeing the world differently. That latte you spilled, not a tragedy. Someone cuts in line in front of you while they're clearly in a rush and they've only got 2 items, meanwhile you have a massive cart full to the brim of stuff that you do not need. That is not worth crying over. The entitlement in your own life starts shrinking because your point of view of the world suddenly expands. And here's the beauty of it, right? Once you've survived retail, once you've survived food service, especially with toxic managers, everything else in life feels significantly easier to manage. Public transport, not an issue. Crowded concerts, they're gonna be crowded, okay? You just learn to deal with it. Life gets lighter because you've faced, let's be real, once you've worked in retail, you have faced the absolute pinnacle of the horrifying human behaviour, and you have managed to live to tell the tale. Retail will teach you to talk to humans properly. Not through texting emojis or over email. I mean, face-to-face, human-to-human connection and conversations. You will learn to read micro-expressions, to calm people down and to explain complicated stuff without sounding like a deadpan robot. And your emotional intelligence will skyrocket. You can instantly sense who's having a bad day, who's trying to scam you, who's being scammed, and who's a genuinely nice person. That skill is lifelong. Think dating, friends, relationships, working in literally any other field. You can thank retail for those skills. I mean, you do kind of learn teamwork, but let's be real, retail is survival of the fittest. With scanners and price tags, and you see people at their absolute worst, and somehow, together, you still get the store open and the shelves stocked. Now, for a couple of examples, if we look at this image right here, not one piece of clothing is where it needs to be. Not one piece of clothing is folded properly. And obviously, this is these are just images, so there's no context to these. But if we use our little noggins, for a little bit of common sense that we have left in this world, we can immediately assume that by looking in the background, the place is packed to the brim with unforgiving customers who do not give less of a damn about retail workers. Look at the mess. Look at the mess that is that pile of clothing. Some poor retail worker is going to have to go through every last one of those bits of clothing and fold them and refold them and refold them probably upwards of 20 times that day, if not more. Now, we'll have a look at another example, right? Right here, we have reasons I hate working in retail, number 3. Poorly stacked pallets, which as soon as you try to move, collapse and go everywhere. Because apparently no one can stack pallets right anymore. You're going to have to deal with this. It is picking that up every time you try and get some stock out, not humbling. Learn to stack pallets, please. What's the point of that? Stack them properly or don't stack them at all. That has got to be one of the most humbling experiences ever. And, by the way, it is! When I worked at the cafe, there was this one delivery driver that we would have every so often who could not stack pallets for the life of him. And every single time that he would come over to deliver our food, to deliver our ingredients and our groceries, the pallets would topple and fall, and we'd have to pick up every last bit, wash off anything that had touched the floor, that couldn't be sold after washing, we'd bin, so it was a waste of money and time. And sometimes there's just no point. Learn to stack pallets properly or don't stack them at all. Retail will humble you, and it's not glamorous, and you'll probably hate it. Who doesn't hate it? And you'll probably question your life choices during that 3 a.m. stock shift that you're going to be put on once every week. But here's the thing, after you've done it, after you've completed a year, even just a couple months in retail, you will begin to appreciate the simple stuff, the stuff that seems so small. You will begin to appreciate it. A few examples, a good tip, or a customer saying thank you. That right there, after you've worked in a service job, that is golden. You get through a busy Saturday without a meltdown, you get some free time. That is a blissful victory right there. And all of a sudden, things that you took for granted beforehand, it feels amazing. And personal take, yeah, but having experience in retail and having experience in any kind of food service industry job will make you a way less annoying human being. Now, I know a lot of people who might watch this, right, are probably never going to work in retail in their life. Which, you know what, that's down to personal choice. I'm not here to force anything onto anyone. This is all my opinion. But for people who haven't worked in it, who are watching this, go work in retail, please. Make life a little bit more bearable for people. Just, please, because, there's no reason to be screaming over people over something that you probably have done yourself many times and shrugged off. If someone makes your coffee wrong, you can just let them know politely and ask them, hey, can you please remake this? 9 out of 10 times they'll say, oh yes, sorry, I'm so sorry, I will remake that for you right now. Or, yes, but you will have to give me 5 minutes, we have a line of customers and all the machines are full. It's not a hard job to be a decent and respectful human being. And I know that a lot of people are never going to try and work a retail job in their life. And how privileged, how lovely, how lucky are you? How lucky are you to never have to work in the food service or in retail and never have to put up with Karens shoving a camera in your face at 7 in the morning because you accidentally typed code in wrong. Which, by the way, it takes 5 minutes, not even, to, click delete, retype in the code, rescan their item, depending on what machines work differently where. It takes less than 5 minutes. People who complain about retail workers being beneath them, being something that they are too good for, I believe they are the people that need to work in retail the most. Point that I'm trying to get across is that if you would like to be a more humble, a less entitled person, you need to work retail. Not forever, and not if you literally can't, but if you can, work in retail for a few months to a year. It will change your outlook on life. The world would be a lot better, in my opinion, of a place if everybody just went and worked in retail for a year. There would be less entitled Karens screaming at teenagers for making a simple mistake. There would be less cameras being shoved in people's faces over stupid things. And there would be less people who genuinely believe that the world revolves around them. Bye-bye.